And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is the 3rd, August. Yeah, it's August, 2026. It's a Monday. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you had a good weekend. Had a 3-hour delay flying from LaGuardia back to Florida yesterday, but hung in the lounge. I guess, you know what's going on, believe it or not? They say traffic along D.C. I don't know if it's the political thing or not. There was a time where I guess the president was doing something and they didn't want anything even within 100 miles, so we went west. Well, we did that again. Usually a 2-hour in-the-air flight was about 3 hours and 10 minutes yesterday, and we waited a good, I got home three hours later than I should have, but got home safe. All is well. And as always, we have lots to cover. The most active news-driven president in the history of time, multiplied by a zillion, was at it again, moving markets. Bad, good, indifferent, who knows what's next. We'll just tell you in real time what's going on. When I was in New York, I just wanted to let you know I went to see Rush on Saturday night with my brother. Sold out crowd. On YouTube, somebody put up a YouTube thing and it shows me and my brother, with everybody else, of course. Had a blast. I think Getty is 70, I think. And wow, the new drummer, nobody's going to replace Neil Peart, but the new drummer they brought in, this woman, was fantastic. Let me tell you what I love about Madison Square Garden. The Wi-Fi is terrific. Do you know you go into other arenas and the Wi-Fi sucks? The Wi-Fi is terrific. Anyway, great concert. I'm going to see that. Well, let's see. I'm definitely slated for 2 more in Hollywood, Florida. That's in November, I believe. I think I'm going to end up seeing about 7 or 8 times. I'm planning on seeing them once in Europe, maybe even twice. Yeah, I'm insane. And the reason is because I doubt they're touring again. All our favorites are not touring again. I'm going to do Eagles at the Sphere one time, and I think I'm pretty much done unless McCartney decides to tour again at the age of 97. I'm good enough. I'm good with Springsteen. I think 18 times with Billy Joel is good. And everybody, Phil Collins is not touring again, so no Genesis. Yes is all broken up. I may go see John Anderson. I won't see the other Yes, who's headed by the guitarist. Anyway, that's our musical part of today. New York City, I got to tell you, I love it in small doses. I could not live there full time. I go up about 6 days a month, maybe a little 8 days, and I love it for 8 days. Absolutely love it for 8 days. Okay, so I hope you don't mind that we're going to rip the stuffings out of both parties today, because it does matter to you, your job, your industry, your money. Because we have elections coming up, and it's so demoralizing, some of the people that are up for election and are excused for heinous acts because they're in one party or another. We're going to cover that. We'll cover what the president did. Everybody else calls it taco. I call it whatever it is. I don't know. Whatever. With the Iran thing. And in case you don't know, as I said, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, and darn, the last bunch of days, darn, both down and up and down. We'll do the economy, your job, your industry, anything that affects you. Tonight, the Powerball is like 700 million. I bought my tickets, and as usual, I'm a hypocrite because I tell you the lottery is the biggest scam ever by the government, besides Social Security. But I get a few tickets when it goes into the big money. because I'm a hypocrite. Anyway, and we're going to cover the spastic markets. And today, very good, with a Gary proviso. Notice the big word. I have a little proviso. We're not going to throw cold water on things because we're going to tell you some good stuff with a proviso. You can look the word up if you're not sure what it is. Anyway, and if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. You just put our name in and, blah, 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 follow us. If you like to email us, just be nice and respectful. Everybody's pretty nice and respectful these days. Every now and then we get somebody. We'll always be nice and respectful back unless you like Hamas or you love terrorists or you're racist and all that crap. How's that? I'm deciding where I'm going to start. So, the past 3 days, the Dow is up 1,600 points. The past 3 days. That's after dropping 1,350 points the day before from the high to the low on Wednesday. And by the way, we finished at the lows of the day on Wednesday. And then out of nowhere, we've had 3 very strong days up in the Dow. 1,600 Dow points. With a proviso. With a proviso. I'll give you an example of today. Today I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stocks in the Dow are down. I have another 1, 2, 3, 4 that are $1 up, $1 or less. The Dow's up 700. It's about to close. 700. Dang. Well, and we mentioned in the last 3 days, 1,600, the Dow. The last 2 days, the Dow is up 50. No, let me give you the open. 52,114. 1,080 points in the last 2 days. 1,080 points in the last 2 days. But it's new merchandise. And may I state for the record, surprising merchandise. We always talk to you about leaders and laggards. Good relative strength, bad relative strength. And we always state, once earnings season comes around, what is our canned line? Good's going to turn bad and bad's going to turn good. That's the nature of the beast. You could have a great stock report earnings and the market tanks it. You have bad stocks report earnings, weak stocks, and the market loves it. Why? Because earnings come out and there's what is known as surprises, both good and bad. And sometimes you look at it and like, why? Don't know. But I just want to let you know. Well, let's talk the last 2 days. You want to see a difference in life? Amazon. Dead money. In fact, Amazon, as of, not making this up, the close on Thursday, before earnings, closed at $235.50. $235.50. The stock hadn't done anything since December of 24 and was down off the highs of 278. closed today at 284, up another 12. So that's up $49 in 2 days and closed at an all-time high. Up next, we'll put the pen to the paper. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Thanks for being with us today. So, what I tell you is going on the last 2 days, 1,000 points and change. Google, Amazon, Microsoft in the last 2 days were 820 of those points. 820. And it's not just it was 820. You have to remember, Amazon was dead. Google, Alphabet, had gapped to the downside on their earnings reports the previous week. And you know, we tell you when something gaps to the upside or downside, typically there'll be follow through that way. But every now and then we'll see something that is what we call an outlier. The gap will get filled because whatever reason. So Google 260, Amazon 318, Microsoft 240. But if you go back one day, Microsoft 3 days ago, it closed at 390. It's up $97 in 3 days. 2 gaps and Friday. 97 times 6.5. Microsoft has accounted for 630 Dow points in 3 days. The Dow is up 1,600 points in those 3 days. That was after dropping 1,350 the day before. So from earnings, you got 1,200 of the 1,600 Dow points from 3 stocks that were absolutely dead in the water and were anchors on the Dow. And Microsoft is still closed at 487 and change. The high was 555 a year ago. But leave no doubt, the boys are into it since the gap on Thursday. Google, and I still call it Google, I don't know why they changed the name, gap down into the lows just 7 days ago, and the lows were sitting around 340. It's 373. That's in the Dow. It is coming up the right side, back above the 50-day moving average. Needs work. The high was in May of 409. But as we said, Amazon was dead. In 2 days, Amazon's gone from 230 to 284 and into new all-time high ground. Now, I can spend some time going through what they said. Go check it out for yourself. Obviously, the market liked it, and obviously the market didn't about face on Google. Typically, when something gaps to the downside, closes at 200, opens at 170 because the market didn't like their numbers. Well, I guess the market changed their mind. And for the life of me, and I can't figure why. But we're not done. Because you had a 500-point day in the Nasdaq 100. And what other, those 3 are in the top 7, influence. You ready? Meta. You know Meta. Stock's been dead. On its earnings report, the day before it closed at 585. The next day, they opened it up 525, closed at 539. In 2 days, it's back to 590, up another $33 today. Filled the gap. Now, I will tell you, Meta does not look like Google. It is still way down, but that's top 7 of the Nasdaq 100. So you got Google and Meta, that gap down, fill in the gap. And some sizable moves, and when you're dealing with mega caps, they matter. Microsoft, dead. Just crushes it for 100 points off of earnings. Amazon, 2 gaps to the old high after being dead for a year. And there's your story. So when we said proviso, the proviso was different merchandise with major league influence. One of the big lagging things we've been following was something called the Round Hill Magnificent 7, MAGS. It was dead. 2 straight days straight up because a select couple of names, we'll call it a few names, doing the trick. Just letting you know. Let's continue. The semiconductors and AI, what have we said to you? Oh boy, they're in bad shape. But stretched, extended, and oversold, and today they opened terribly while other things open well. But finished much better. I believe the semiconductor index was down 350 early, closed up 120. But as I look at them, in no way, shape, or form am I convinced that they're out of the soup just yet. And just remember, stretched, extended, and oversold. Won't go any further than that. So, mega caps, much, much better. Even Tesla, which has been squashed, up $11 today. Even SpaceX, which by the way is now a top 10 in influence, was up almost $7 today in front of tomorrow's earnings. And may I state for the record, I think they're going to report good numbers, but remember, valuations matter. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Some other notes. So, 12 pages of earnings this week, and to show you we'll never know which, Marriott was down $26 today. Hotel. On their earnings report. Wow. Up next, we'll continue. And then I'm going to rip a few people. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Yields were down today. Oil was down today. You know, they call what the president does taco. So, what does taco mean? I'm putting it in for the Trump always chickens out. That's what they say it is. In case you did not know, another case of the president saying he is going to bomb the living crap out of Iran and blow up their bridges and their electrical this and that, and this and that. We're doing it this weekend, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out and says, oh, Iran wants a deal. They've been calling us. We got calls from our allies. So he goes from blowing a place up, smithereens. This is probably, and this is factual, probably the 10th time that he said it and then backed away and lied about it. Iran has come out and said, we never said a word to him. Not even through back channels. He's making it up. And as we've said to you here, unfortunately, the guy has lied so much, we don't believe a word he says, and we actually listen to Iran first. We don't believe what they say either, but we listen to them first before him because he's a daily liar about everything. But the good news, they didn't attack. I have no idea what's next. I have no idea if they're talking to each other. I have no idea the outcome. But for today, oil prices drop 4 and change. Yields drop. And as you know, yields were really skyrocketing. And today you had a great day in the market. A great day. With some provisos. I actually like that word. Anyway, that's the story of the president and all that. The other part of the equation, I don't want to get too into the weeds, but we have now intervened with Japan in buying up their yen and selling our dollars because the yen has been crashing. And you can go look up, why are we intervening with the yen? We'll go a rare joint intervention to prop up the yen because Japanese currency crashed to near 40-year lows, making imported food and energy too expensive and causing wild market swings. But really, the story is, to cover their arses, they would have to keep selling our bonds, and that would be not a good thing. So we intervene with them. I'm a big believer in free markets. I believe when things are going awry, it's usually for a reason, and usually the ultimate outcome happens anyhow. So we'll see. A weak yen makes the basic needs costly for people in Japan. I can go on and on and on. So we're trying for, I guess, what they call market stability. Okie doke. That was the story today also. And we'll see how it plays out. And I don't like talking currency that much because I don't even understand half the crap of it anyhow. Next, 12 pages of earnings this week, ladies and gentlemen. Just letting you know. Now, a lot of the big ones are out. The financials are out. But I can tell you after the close today, Palantir. Tomorrow is going to be Caterpillar and McDonald's in the Dow. I believe SpaceX is, I think, tomorrow also. I'm looking real quick. Yeah, SpaceX is after the close. So there's still plenty of what we call meaty things out there. And we're going to be setting up for the reactions, both good and bad. We're being told by people supposedly in the know that earnings are great and they're going to come out great and all that. We say just watch the market. But very good day today. I really don't have much to complain about except, as we said, proviso. I still think the semis may have an issue. The AI, though they bounced pretty darn good today, may I state that for record, and could bounce more. And I believe Western Digital reports, SanDisk reports this week also. That will be of much important. Their numbers are going to be huge. We'll see what the guidance is. Palantir's after the close today. They'll probably be up in the aftermarket, though. Valuations are a joke for that one also. Remember, we don't want to give somebody a $5 bill and they hand us back $1. Just remember that. So numbers can come out great. Stocks can still go down because of valuations. Look what happened with SpaceX. And by the way, Palantir has done nothing but report good numbers. And the stock is still down from 207 to 125. Valuations. And the market ultimately usually figures that out. And if they keep growing leaps and bounds. But the problem is, I think today, walking in today, it was a $300 billion market cap with less than $5 billion in revenues. Yeah. needs to be worked out over time. And the same for SpaceX and for some others also. But the big story is yields down, oil down. President, they say taco, we just say whatever, did something different. And hopefully it works out. Listen, as we tell you, we don't want the guy as president. We think he's a loose cannon. We think he's a liar, but he's our president. We hope he does great things. By the way, he played in a golf tournament this weekend and had the grapefruits to say he shot a 70. And they gave him the trophy for winning his championship. And you should have heard the sycophants out there on the video. Oh, the greatest. He shot 70 like I dunk a basketball. Just letting you know, which should scare the hell out of everybody that he would BS about even that. Anyway, what else? Financials were a little iffy today. Not much going on there, though they're hanging in there. Oil stocks came down today, but not as much as you would think. I am interested in, I'll tell you, they've been talking up Eli Lilly, and the stock just broke down badly today. I don't know if that, maybe it's the competition, not really sure. But the pharma stocks breaking down. I will tell you the truckers have been breaking down also. So there are areas, and as I mentioned, Marriott. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see some bad, we're going to see some good into earnings, and we'll report them to you and take it from there. What else? Even Oracle was up $11 today, $12 today. Maybe even that's even turning the corner, and that's been one of the weakest software. Software stocks had a good day today. Also, even the worst are doing better off the lows, and some of the best, like the software security stocks, had a good day today also. That helped the Nasdaq also. And let me just, the S&P has been in a 10-week range bound, was breaking down last Wednesday, and Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon gave the S&P a jolt, and it's back near the highs now and may just break out of range. And let me just state for the record, on Wednesday, that was one of the worst days we've had in a long time, breaking below support. It just tells you how influential a few names will be. Will they continue? I have no clue. Do I expect them to continue? My guess is, yeah, I think they can go more just based on momentum, by the way. Again, as I look at the AI and the semis, a little bit in no man's land. They're in no man's land. They rallied today after starting off very poorly, but we'll call it no man's land, which means there are things down 30%, 40%, 50%, if not more. Up next, we'll take a few things on for you and me. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Hey there. Hey, I got Palantir is up 9% in the aftermarket to 137. Still down from 207 from last October. I guess they reported good numbers. And I mentioned that one because I know I get asked about it a lot. There are others reporting in the aftermarket, but I'm going to leave that be. But Palantir. Okay, I said I was going to take a few things on because, look, it's just my preference. I like honesty. I don't like corruption. I don't like what the president's doing, making billions of dollars. And very, you can go look up how. It's nightmarish. His sons also. And, I don't begrudge anybody making billions. I'm all for it. But no. Not using the power of the White House. So we're already not thrilled. But he also had something called the some taxpayer fund, $1.8 billion. Imagine he had some lawsuit with the IRS or something, where if you ever win it, which you don't, maybe you get a little bit of money. Well, they negotiated $1.8 billion, which is disgusting corruption, any way, shape, or form. And it was done by this guy, Todd Blanche, who was the president's attorney, who's now the acting attorney general. And to be the attorney general was held up because two senators that lost, because Trump did not back them, were against it unless they get rid of this $1.8 billion. By the way, our tax dollars, by the way, to pay off a bunch of the January 6 ass clowns that attacked our Capitol. That, by the way, the president pardoned all them blanket-wise. Blanket. And I'm sure some people got jail time they shouldn't have. And maybe they should have been pardoned. They should have been. But not the blanket. There were sick criminals that day, January 6th. It's all on video. You don't need me. Anyway, this guy's going to be the attorney general. And this guy headed up going after Trump's enemies. He's supposed to be our number one... I believe they call him the number one crime fighter or something like that. He's not supposed to be working for the president against his enemies, and that's what he's been doing. So the fact that he's going to be elected or selected sickens me. That's number one. Nothing personal. Number two, Robert Kennedy Jr. was on a show this weekend, and I watched the interview. I can't stand the guy. He's a BS artist also. I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. And yeah, of course, there's video of him saying it. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I trust him as far as I can throw him. But I do agree when he says if you eat too much cake, it's not good for you. Next. You ever hear this guy Max Miller running for Congress again? Oh, it's come out that he threw hot water at his wife and his young daughter, broken collarbone or something like that. Been accused of wife and kid abuse. The Republicans will not disavow him. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. And by the way, in my district, this guy Corey Mills, go look him up also. Next. Oh, Mamdani. Oh, yeah, that's right. Just letting you know. He's doing these grocery stores, government run, that, you know, he's a moron. Has absolutely zero clue. Hey, yeah, it's all going to be free. Oh, sure. And who are you going to pick and choose to get the limited amount of that food? And who's going to send products in there and lose money on the products? Well, guess what? Here's the fun part. As you know, I believe we need voter ID. Don't you? Do we have national voter ID? Simple question. Simple question. No. The United States does not have a federal national voter identification card or a single nationwide voter ID requirement. Instead, voter identification regulations are determined individually by state. I'm pretty sure in Florida I have to show ID, though. So rules vary. Well, I believe we should have a national one, don't you? Mamdani wants an ID for the grocery stores, or you're not getting any of that food. Just letting you know the hypocrisy of these Marxist, socialist, communists, whatever you want to call them. We can label any way we want. California has approved to put a one-time 5% wealth tax on billionaires. 5%. And by the way, those billionaires can pay it out 1% a year over 5 years. I can't wait to count up how many billionaires haul ass out of California before they have a chance to vote for this. Oh, that's right. A bunch of them already have left. Nobody ever said politicians were not stupid, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta tell you, I feel like we're headed towards a banana republic, brought to you by Trump with his corruption and self-dealing, brought to you by the Democrats that are illogically insane. Not to mention the Republicans, but the Republicans are not as illogically insane as the left at this juncture. The left are in the primaries of voting in people that will look you straight in the face and tell you there's apartheid in Israel, which is an absolute lie. They pick them out. They don't pick out what's going on in Haiti or Nigeria or China with the Uyghurs. They just pick out Israel because they're Jew haters, and they prove it every day. We got Bernie Sanders, who in the past called for 100% tax on every dollar you make above $1 million. No, not kidding. So I always want to be hopeful, but you have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like I do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well, be well. Serenity now. Until tomorrow. Peace out. Bye-bye.